Yeah.
Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and if you follow us, we had a rather lengthy video, and ever since Jesus got married, like things have happened, and Tolu has grown, and I've grown, and Tolu's grown in respect and love for me. She's seen me in ways that she's never seen before, and she's seen me act in love, write her a few songs that really touched her. Uh, she's realized I love her far more than she realized. And as she listened to the songs told her so much about herself that she didn't know. And she's learning to walk into that person that the songs are saying. And there's been such transformation, so much happening that we had to like do a whole lot of debrief videos to talk over
Wow.
what's happening. And we've finished our debrief. It took a lot of time, and thanks for bearing with us. And today's guest, Tolu has told me, is Ben, her husband, because today in Earth time is Ben's 44th birthday, and that's a special day for him. And her gift to him, she wrote a song for him, and that came out today, which is a really beautiful song. And that song is on our music channel, which is in a link in the description tag of this video. But what's the name of the song?
Day one I knew.
Day One on You. And so if you want to listen to that song's great. That was a birthday gift. And today, interviewing him is going to be a birthday gift. So I hand you over to Tulu.
Thank you, Matthew. I love you, Matthew. So I welcome you, my darling Papa. I love you so much. Jesus, you're not here, but we still welcome you. And Holy Spirit, we welcome you as well. And I welcome the inhabitants of heaven and the inhabitants of earth. And the people that will be watching this later, I do welcome you all. And my special team, I love you, especially what's the name? Daniel. I welcome you. So thank you all. And of course, I do welcome my husband on his special day. Is this supposed to be his 44th birthday on earth? It's interesting how that song I wrote for him was just a coincidence. I've even forgotten about his birthday. But God always knows how to order our steps. So I welcome you, my sweetheart, Ben. How are you?
I'm really happy. You know, your last message lasted for close on 9 hours.
Hmm,
In in heaven time, that's about 4 to 5 days. So when the people listened in heaven, although it's 9 hours on Earth time, people were watching their screens and watching the interview for 5 days.
my God.
And at the end of it, it was my birthday.
Yeah.
It's still my birthday on Earth now, and I'm feeling really special. Tolu got to say some lovely things to me, and I got to say some lovely things to her, and it was a really special video. And if any one of you have listened to that video by the time you're watching this, we thank you for your time and patience. I really admire Tolu, and my love for my wife, my darling, has grown exponentially. And one day, Matthew and Tolu hope that many people will be watching this video when Matthew and my darling has finished their work on earth and Jesus takes them home. It's their prayer that the people left behind will discover Matthew's videos, and some of them really learn how to get their life together and get in a good place with God. But if you're one of the regular people who listen and watch these videos, you'll notice that the videos have been different and exciting, and there's a lot of deep revelation coming out of it. And I'm so pleased to not only witness and hear everything happening, but so proud of my wife for being the person who instigates and asks the questions and uh, directs where the information comes from. And she's so gifted at it. And sometimes Matthew, when he's been up for days, goes off track, and she's able to pull him in and stop him from telling story after story when it's not answering the question. And Matthew doesn't even realize he's doing it. When he gets high or bipolar, he gets manic, he can be out of control a little bit. And yet, the last video he did for 11 hours or other sleep deprived videos, he's really been out of control. And it's very good that she only had to pull him up a couple of times in 9 hours. So it was a really great video. And if you haven't seen it, it's a video before this one on YouTube. So welcome. And I want to ask you a question before you start asking me questions. I wanna ask you, tell the audience on earth and in heaven how you're feeling about the breakthrough in heaven to bust God out of a prison house where he's lonely and depressed and sad, and he's like in solitary confinement, had hardly any friends and been in depression for years and years. How do you feel about being responsible for breaking him out of there, and also being responsible for writing books and songs that reinterpreted who he was and gave everyone in heaven from other faiths the courage and the desire to meet him face to face, and allow them to meet him, for heaven to become a whole lot happier, a whole lot more joyful, a whole lot more focused on what it's meant to focus. How do you feel about that breakthrough, and then the breakthrough of Jesus getting married? What are your feelings on all of that, Tolu?
Wow. Thank you. My God. You know what comes to mind? I remember I'm going back to when I was 17 years old. And you came to preach to me and said, Tolu, I've received Jesus. You need to receive Jesus into your life as well. I never knew that it was going to be a lifetime journey for us, that God had a purpose, had a plan for my life. Because at that stage in my life, I felt like I had no purpose. I felt I was rejected. I had no friend. Like I would love to have friends. People always says, yes, I did this, I did that. I felt lonely basically. And then coming across you, that was the day my life changed, because I'm thinking, yes, this is going to be my best friend. And of course, 2 months or 3 months into the relationship, you had to break it because you got saved and you told me we have to focus on God now. But how would I know that 17-year-old that you preached to? Because I've heard so many preaching before yourself, but because of the love I had for you already then, I believed. I said, yes, I'm going to believe this Jesus. If that's the only way, I'm going to marry him in future. And I told God, I said, God, you need to promise me you're going to bring him back. And I just believed. And that 17 now has been able to achieve this. A widow that didn't know what else to do with her life. When you were gone, I thought my purpose is gone. My will for living is gone because I lived for you, man. Like my life revolved around you. And Jesus built me that way for my life to revolve around you. because every instruction he gives me majority of the time is always how I'm going to make you a better person, I'm going to make you happy. But now I know some of the reasons why Jesus did that, because you were heavily depressed as well. And there were so many things that you were doing that you were not telling me, carrying the pain of God. I wasn't aware of that. So Jesus knew that you needed more love from me. And because my life revolved around you, I thought we were going to live forever together. That was my thinking. At least if you were going to go home, it would be very close because Jesus knows how important you were to me. And of course, you died suddenly. That's it. I had to wake up. I went into mini depression. I've never known depression. Of course, in that first 3 months before I met Matthew, I wasn't myself. I was not interested in living, but I had to continue to live because I've got 3 young children that needs to be taken care of. So that child, that 17-year-old lost child, that the journey started on that evening, on that night, when my mother sent me out at the very late at night and I saw you come in, very dark, and then you said hello. How will I know that that 17-year-old man was going to be pivotal in my life to bring me to the stage where I am? God works in a beautiful way. And this ministry started. The only thing I had in my heart is I wanted to please God when we started this ministry. And I remember so many times Matthew will say, I will have stopped this because it's only 5 views we had, 4 views we had. And I always remind Matthew, we are not doing this because of the views. We are doing it because that's what God requires of us. That is our destiny. That is what we're supposed to be doing. So I put in my all. And you might say, okay, Tolu, how did you know how to put in your all? I learned that from you as well. Because whatever you do, you put in your all. You put in your all into your marriage. You loved me in different ways more than I could have loved you. And learning that from you, I knew that if you were taken away so that I can do this, then I cannot afford to fail. I have to put in my best. So I decided and I spoke to myself, no matter how rough the road might look like, it's going to be dark, it's going to be difficult because the person I usually lean on is not here with me. And all of a sudden, I became a young mother, having to take care of 3 children, and at the same time, having to carry this huge responsibility that's been given to me by heaven. So I counted it being blessed that God can even say, I deserve to be given that assignment. And that assignment since that day that we started has taken over my life. I would say it's been the centerpiece of my life. I revolve my life around the assignment. The assignment comes first, then my children and myself. And that has, because that assignment became number one for me. That is what I am here to do. And I am going to put in my best and make that happen. But listening to you guys, seeing how depressed God was, seeing how the state of heaven has deteriorated, there were sometimes I'm thinking, do we think we could do any changes? Because when I ask people questions, including yourself, and say, oh, totally you don't understand. It's really depressed. Things are not working. These people are obstinate. They don't want to listen to him. They just want to do what they want to do. It just needs friends.
The Christian people.
Yeah, Christian people especially. It needs friends. And God has only got very few of us that he needs to recycle all the time. I could not understand how depressed it could be until people started explaining it differently. Like Samson saying it's excruciating. King Solomon saying, Tolu, You just have to allow him to be himself. You just have to allow him to be sad. You just have to sit by him side. And I'm thinking, when Ben was here, Ben was used to be sad as well. But I promise I'm not going to allow him to be sad. You knew that, Ben. I was always trying to get you out of that state all the time. It was exhausting, but I never got tired of it. So, because I knew I couldn't just sit down and be sad with you. I have to support you to be out of it. So it's like having you as a husband prepared me for so many things, Ben. It prepared me not to give up because our marriage, we have to be resilient. You knew that. Enemy came in so many ways to break us down. But because we were both determined, loyal to each other, that's one of the reasons why we're able to survive the marriage. And if I was able to survive the marriage, I can survive anything, man. That marriage prepared me for life. And I knew that God is going to be happy. That is my mission. I don't care what every other person says. My mission was to make him happy. I don't care whether I'm selfish. If I'm selfish, just leave me alone. Yes, there's sometimes I'm selfish, and I know I am. It's okay to be selfish. So yes, that was my mission there. So I came in every day, always looking for ways. My mind is always at work. I wrote him Father's series because I wanted to make him happy. That was the reason behind all of those series. That maybe if I put more words about him out there, people will get to know him and it will be attracting more people, especially in heaven. I didn't know, especially Christians could care less about his feelings. And because they were so selfish, they were so adamant and obnoxious to other religion, their own behaviors, even allowing them to even be far away from all of these messages that we are preaching because they can't be bothered to touch it because they are looking at the representation of God and it's not pretty. Christians were not an example, they were not ambassador of who is supposed to be. And because of that, all what we're doing was like we're just going down the drain. But I didn't know that it was going down the drain. But even if I knew it was going down the drain, I would still call. Because in a way, the fact that God was speaking, I believe it was a slow healing. And that started the journey when we started that interview. At least he is happy that someone is able to give him attention every day and come to ask him questions. And there was no way we could have known him if he didn't come out to express himself. So in a way, it's not a waste for me. Like all of those messages built me into who I am today. So I won't call it total waste. But at the same time, I was thinking these messages are so profound. What Papa is saying is so profound that anyone will listen to it and will just fall in love with him and will just want to do his will. But I never knew I was thinking that way because Jesus has prepared me to have a surrendered heart. And I learned the way you surrendered yourself to God. You always pick him first. And I say it again, Ben always picked God first, even while he was on earth. So him saying, Tolu, if it comes to you, I'll pick God was not surprising to me. Because from working with him, I knew he always goes for whatever God tells him to do first, irrespective of however that might land with me or with anybody. That was his sole focus. And him arriving in heaven and seeing a state, which son will abandon his father that way? But that's what Christians did. They abandoned him. They left him alone. And every day, he was miserable, sad, lost, powerless. I can even use the word weak. God has become weak. He didn't know who he was. And you knew you had to lift him up from this. So Ben, we held our hands together to do this. Because I can never forget the day Papa to me said, Tolu, There's so many times Ben was always speaking to your life. He never stopped prophesying into your life. What you're doing today is all of his prophecies that he has ever wished for you. He wanted you to be a matter for me. And he got you to that stage where you've become a matter for me. That was his desire. Who will want his wife to be a matter? Yeah, he has to be Ben. Who want to lay the life of his wife at the altar of God? It has to be Ben. So you are unique, Ben. But I love you with your uniqueness because it's like you're so precious. You're so rare, you're rare gem. It's not something you meet every day. And that's why going back to that 17-year-old child, when I saw you, I knew that was the person. And that was what that song was all about. I knew it. And I was like, this person is never going to let go. I am going to chase him till the end. And I think God has always answered my request, even before I knew He answers or He cares so much about me. Majority of the things I've asked in life, I've received. The only thing I never received was for my husband to be healed. And that was because that was meant to happen. It was supposed to go home. God desperately needed him. So coming back to your question, Ben, how I feel about allowing all of these things that's happened, I feel humbled that I was chosen to do this. I feel so much joyous, elated that I did not give up just even one day before this happened. That I continue to persevere and continue to support Matthew because I know it's difficult for him going through this assignment. A lot of times he doesn't want to do the video, but I understand him. So it's been painful for us as much as it's been painful for you guys watching God in heaven, watching him just being helpless. But I never gave up, man. I knew one day was going to happen. And I knew that if God has called me for this, I don't know how to give up on people. I don't know whether you've noticed that. When I love somebody, that's it for life. Unless if I don't love you. Or if you're special to me like you are special, my darling husband, and the way Papa's become to me now. Someone I'm writing, I'm falling in love with, and I thought I was just writing about just loving him. I never knew that it was real. It was proper husband-wife love. I didn't know that. That was becoming somebody to him. And remember how the letters I wrote to him then? I tried so many different ways to wake him up as well. That's why I was writing all those books. It was always my focus. God was always my focus. The series, the analogies, the letters, all the books I've written, majority of the time, I always wanted to come back to him so that people can understand him, that he needs their love. And what happened? Last minute, you said enough is enough. If you didn't say enough is enough, Ben, we won't be here. So I'm grateful to God you allow whoever needed to speak to you in that moment to put your foot down. And that was the beginning of God's deliverance. Can we even call it deliverance, Ben? That's the word we will use in the church, isn't it? That was the beginning of him being set free. That's the easy way. You wanted to set him free from the prison. And now he's out of the prison and is walking around. And you might think that, okay, yes, Tolu is going to be so jubilant. And he will say, that's the end now. I can rest. Actually, all I keep feeling in my spirit is the work has only just started, Tolu. you have to continue now. You have to speed up things. You have to be able to do more than what you used to do. Because now, God's children, they need Him, and He needs His children. And now He's out and about, and you just need to keep that steam on. You need to keep going and keep doing what you were called to do. So overall, I felt humbled for God to use me for this. And I'm ever grateful to God. And it just makes everything that Jesus told me, it made it more understandable now. All the things He did for me, just like you said yesterday, I never had my freedom, my free will. It is true. I never had my freedom. My freedom was always being constrained by what Jesus says all the time, because Jesus started speaking to me through Ben, like right away. Like Ben got saved, we parted our ways, and when we came back, and maybe when we were 20, that was from that time Jesus was always speaking to me through Ben. So it's always been all over me. It's like an helicopter that it never allowed me to even enjoy any freedom. There's so many times I wanted to celebrate my birthday there, and Ben would say, "No, you can't do it." So there's so many rules around me. Everybody is doing whatever they want to do with their life. I could not. I have to keep living to these rules that Jesus keeps creating for me. And that's one of Ben, that's one of the reasons why we're rejected by our family, because they didn't understand our journey, and they know the way we're always behaving. It's like something is wrong with us. It's like we're not thinking straight. It's like we're making bad decisions. They didn't understand us. And they cannot understand us because the destiny God has given us is so unique that they don't need to understand us. So, Ben, even as much as I am glad that God is here, I can't wait to see where this is all going. And I can't stop now. I just have to accelerate more and keep going. And your next question was, how do I feel about this? And the second one was, remind me.
Or just go on to the next one you remember. I can't remember. Matthew can't remember what the second and third one was. So just
No.
answer
Okay.
the question.
Okay. It was two. You said God using me for this. Oh my God, I've forgotten the second question. You asked two questions. So, but
So
Ben,
how do you feel? How do you feel about the breakthrough and what we've achieved so far? How does that make you feel?
there's still more work to be done. We're just at the start.
Matthew,
I don't.
Matthew explained it that you're in a professional Formula One race and you've just pulled into the pit stop to get more
Yeah,
tires, to get more fuel, have a short
yeah,
break, and then go out and finish the race.
yeah. Because I don't celebrate things like this early. It's too early for me to celebrate now because there's still a long way to go. But that long way doesn't mean that everything has to happen here on earth. We will continue doing this when we get to heaven. What Ben, why I will still always be shocked at, or still perplexing to me, is why me? Because I could look at my life in so many ways and say, well, I'm not qualified for this. But you trusted me more than I trust myself. So I'll just keep going. And
So
we can't
what
stop.
you've seen facets of yourself during this battle and during this fight. What would you say are qualities you recognize in yourself that make you well fitted for this fight? What are some of the character traits that you'd
Well,
say are strong in you?
the first one is I'm stubborn. And Jesus used to warn me, Tolu, don't allow your stubbornness to destroy you. That Jesus did so many things for me, Ben. And I'm grateful that you surrendered your life, you laid it down to the extent that right from age 20, that you've been carrying the voice of Jesus for me, right to the end to age 40, that you went home. You never asked me once, what did Jesus say? You never even though you heard everything now, I know now that you heard everything that was going on, but you just behave as if nothing happened. What does that? How was he able to carry that out successfully? That's why I say, Ben, you're unique. You're, you're such a unique being. So you surrendered your life. I learned the surrenderness from you, Ben. That's another trait. But let me come back to the stubbornness. Jesus says, yes, you have to channel your stubbornness in a positive way. So I always remember, it always rings in my head. So that stubbornness does not allow me to give up on things. So that characteristics really, really helped me. Because I know if it was left to Matthew, Matthew would have given up maybe 2 years ago. Am I lying, Matthew?
No.
But God has so much prepared me by your life, the life you lived, Ben, that a lot of things that you wanted God to do, it never even made one to happen. Not even one. No, you didn't experience one success. The only success you experienced is you were deeply close to God and you had a wife that loved you so much. That was something that kept keeping you going. That you've got a family here that you need to pour your love to, even though you were depressed within you. So you continually going on throughout your lifetime without giving up is enough for me. To say, Ben said it in the end. He said, Tolu, I am at peace with God. I've done everything he wants me to do. Even though I was baffled because I was wondering, what has Ben done? I never knew that. The friendship you had with him, holding him, crying with him, encouraging him, was what you were supposed to do. And of course, to build me up so that Matthew can meet someone that is well refined already. Matthew did not meet the crude Tolu. You met the Tolu that you needed to work on, like a project. So that's why my chapter 2 was as smooth as it was, because I've lived with you. I know how sad or depressed you can be. It was so easy for me to manage Matthew. I was well prepared. So there's no crazy Matthew that could derail the goal. And I would say if there's something called being fixated, I'm that person that I just focus on one thing, and that one thing is all I care about. Every other distraction, I block it out. Whatever it takes, I will go to any extent to have no distraction. And that was why I told myself when Gabriel did tell me, Jesus said, if you wanted a friend, I'll give you. I said, no, I don't want a friend. This is not the time for me to be creating friendship. This is time for me to do the work and to be out of here. So My mind was set, and no one could switch my mind or change my mind from what I was doing. And I knew that when Matthew said, "You were going to walk with Ben in heaven." So I didn't want to let you down either. So I was thinking, okay, if I need to walk with Ben, then I have to continue going. I have to continue coming back, no matter how tired I am, no matter how busy I am. I have to keep creating time for this. And your life taught me that as well, because I used to do so many things while you were here, Ben. So I was able to carve out time from my day. Holy Spirit is always giving me ideas of what to do to get the time I need to carve out. So it's supernatural. The things I do, I'm now getting to believe that it is supernatural. There are people helping me. There's no way I'm doing all of those things myself. So yes, so my first characteristic is because I am stubborn. I don't give up on things. I can be so fixated on things. And until I get that working, you couldn't get me out of it. The second one is my resilience. I don't give up. No matter how painful something is, I will keep going. I will keep going. I will keep going. That's just who I am. And the one I am very loyal. If I have you as a friend, I will be loyal to you to the end. You can rely on me, you can trust me that what I say, I'm going to carry it out exactly as it has been said. So I gave God my loyalty because you gave him your loyalty while you were not there. So I gave him my loyalty that if he has taken my husband because of this, I can't fail him. It has to be worth it, Ben. Your absence has to really be worth it. Devil wanted to use it to break me, and I was mad because of that as well. On the third or fourth day after you passed on, I stood up. I said, "Devil, you've made the wrong mistake, the worst mistake of your life. Taking my husband will be the worst decision you've ever made in your lifetime." So that even really forged my determination even more, that I'm going to do this, and you're not going to stop me, devil. No matter the obstacles you bring, I will keep standing up. Yeah, so and I've come to love God. How do you walk away from someone that you love, Ben? You have to keep going, isn't it? You have to keep showing up for them. So I knew that I had to keep showing up. And if I'm not showing up, what am I going to do with my time, Ben? If I'm not showing up for him, what will I be doing? Wasting away? So the resilience, people always say I am humble as well. I'm not sure, Ben, you are the best judge of that. But if that is there, the humility must have helped me as well to never allow any of the successes that we've had so far to even get into my head. Actually, it propels me more. I've still got more work to do. So, Ben, those 4 or 5 characteristics was quite, and I am hardworking and very disciplined. And I don't like you to tell me you can't, this is not possible. When people say this is not possible, I want to try it. So January this year, I decided, I said, Tolu, I will be writing at least 10 books a month. The first thought that came to me is, Tolu, how are you going to move from writing 4 a month to writing 10? I said, it is possible. And in the end, it was possible. So having faith in God, knowing that wherever you speak into your destiny, wherever you speak into your future, if you take the necessary action, God is going to do the rest. Me and Matthew, we've not done anything special. We've just made ourselves available. I am available. Because we are all very rustic vessels. I don't know the Bible. I don't even love quoting the Bible. I can't remember last when I read the Bible. There's so many things that just makes us not qualify for this, me and Matthew. Matthew just does whatever he wants to do. Stands up wherever. There's no sense of structure in his life. I just God pick someone that is structureless like Matthew and join it together with a widow to make this happen? I don't know. So Ben, I hope I answer your question.
So what's something you want me to do for you, for your ministry? What's something you want me to do for you personally? What's something you want me to do for your ministry, to help your ministry? What's something you want me to do for God?
Wow. What something do I want you to do for me? Just continue speaking into my life, Ben. Well, you see my future more than I see my future. So that future, keep prophesying that future into my life. Keep speaking it into my life. And just continue to love me like you've always done. Keep praying for me for the grace to run this race till the end. That's all I need from you. For myself. And the next question is for who?
What can I do for your ministry?
For my ministry. Wow. Keep encouraging me.
That's all you need, encouragement.
Yeah. Through your lyrics, through these conversations here, when I speak to you, just keep encouraging me. Because what you said yesterday really touched me about how you so much care that you can't wait for me to be in heaven as well. And you went into further detail into a lot of things. And that really did a lot of healing in me because I never knew that you were conversant of that, and it was something that was so precious, dear to you, to ensure that once your wife is done here, he's done the job he needs to do, there's no point of him staying extra days. He can just come home. She can just come home. So knowing that you have that in mind really helps me to cope better. Because this is hard. This is tough. And you know that, Ben. So keep encouraging me.
And what can I
And when
what do you feel I could do for God?
I'm also, before I come to God, anything that you know about God that you know that can help me to understand Him better, when I'm with you in heaven, speak that to my spirit. And I know that when I get back to earth, I will pick that up. Or you can speak to me while I am away. You could speak to me and tell me things that you know can help me to make him a better person because we are doing this together, man. We are both working on God to get him to where he needs to restore him back, to put him back on his two feet so that he can stop wobbling because I think he's still wobbling. It still has a long way to go. So hold my hands and let's work as a team to help him. So for God, what do I want you to do for God? Never stop loving him. Never stop being loyal to him like you are. Keep being that person that he can rely heavily on, that he knows that you always be there. It's a friend that never goes. So be that to him. Be his loyal friend. Be someone that guides him and speak the truth to him. Ben, when you feel that is going off the rail or he's doing something that you think is not right or he's putting himself in situations where people do maltreat him, step in, let him know because Papa still needs a lot of guidance, especially now. It's never had so much friend like he's having now. And it's so easy for him to get excited, but at the same time, it can be hurt as well because relationships do hurt you. So just keep supporting him, keep allowing him to see the blind spot that he might not see. But you will be able to see that because you are the one watching from behind. And it's possible. It's easy for him to put himself in a situation where he's hurt again. So always ensure that you keep supporting him in every way you can. So that's it.
So what are some things that you
Also,
can?
before I go, Ben, something just occurred to me. You know, God said his two love languages is quality time and words of affirmation. Keep speaking those words of affirmation, things that could lift him up, that could keep helping him to keep growing. Keep speaking those things into his life.
The truth,
Yeah.
not the lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep reinforcing the truth of
Absolutely.
the new wine, the person
Ab-
he is, not the person,
yes.
not the person he thinks he is, the person
Yes.
that he's meant to be, the person that he
Absolutely.
is now.
Yeah. Because we can't get carried away. This stage is very crucial. So you just need to keep speaking that into his life. Even if you need to further delegate those tasks to other people as well, that you think you can trust enough to speak the truth to him. You don't want him surrounded by yes men. You want him surrounded by men that can live, that can tell him the truth, whether it's easy for them or not. So you need to still be that protector for him. You can't just let go and just allow him just to be doing his things. You still need to be like that mama bear, or if there's any papa bear, like some, just make sure that you still keep an eye on it. So that's so your question, Ben.
So you may have needs and desires in this ministry, in your life, in whatever. If God could do things for you that you feel
Mm,
you need,
mm.
what would you have him do for you? Or Matthew seems to watch you and you don't really express your needs. You just think and have wishes and they automatically happen for you. But is there anything you can search your mind that you actually need?
Well, the only thing I needed is I wish that I can be financially blessed. I don't even have to work. That I can just focus on the 100%. Be- because there's so many things that needs to be done. I receive so many ideas on a day by day basis, but there's only so much I can do with my time. So if I knew that I don't need to work again and my needs will be supplied for my children, all the things I do, I would just work if I just wanted to. I won't work because I've got to keep doing what I need to do. So we don't know. There might be a miracle.
So,
So
would you like to, in your authority as the Queen and wife of God, on mission, doing this mission with a clear objective that you really need more time, you need your time freed up to do more things, right? In your
mm,
authority,
mm,
could you say to Cynthia, Cynthia communicate to the people of Earth and
Yeah, Matthew, the thing is, Matthew, you only just need to tell God, or you don't want to give God the solution of how He's going to make that happen.
right, okay. So,
You
so,
understand?
so your request to God was to provide me finances so
Yeah,
I can be full time doing this.
yes, yes. So then we now leave the out to God.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So have you got, do you want to, as far as Matthew's concerned, from what he can tell, you've got an hour and 15 minutes left. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay. So do you want to, have you got a lot of questions for me, things that you want to hear from me? Ask me anything, darling. Ask me hard things. Ask me for things that you need to know. First of all, I want to tell you that Bob got a special boat today, not their regular boat, a bigger boat. So I went with you and Peter and Bob fishing today, and there was like a Jesus-like miracle happening. We didn't use nets, we used normal fishing rods and baits, but it seemed there was a rush of fish, and every time someone threw down the line, they caught a fish.
wow.
And you mentioned some fish that you like to eat,
Salmon and haddock.
right? So salmon are found in rivers and not in oceans, uh, jumping up rivers. So we couldn't go to a river, we're in a sea. But haddock came,
Wow,
and you you got a haddock on, and it was pretty big, and so you managed for a while, about two-thirds of the thing were telling you what to do, and then you got tired, and Bob took over and brought it in, and you went on the record of having the biggest haddock that's ever been caught
wow,
in heaven. And we caught a few more and other fish, and we blessed a few people with fish. What happens in heaven for people who haven't listened to all these messages when it comes to fish? Animals aren't killed in heaven to provide food. Animals have souls and spirits.
mm,
So they had to come to the line and allowed themselves to be caught. Then we catch the fish, we get the fish into the boat, we
mm,
pick the fish up and hold the fish to get the photos, and then we throw the fish back,
wow,
and as we throw the fish back, the same size fish appears in our box. Right? So a fish is created out of thin air, or you could say light. God miraculously creates a haddock of the same size, exact same look as the one in the photo.
wow,
And every fish that we threw back that we wanted would go into the box. Every fish that we threw back that we didn't need to take home uh,
mm,
went back, and we didn't have a creation. He came home with enough fish to cater for 30 people,
wow,
and you cooked and made salads, and you made the side dishes, and
wow,
you had two chefs in the kitchen helping you. And we sat down to 30 people having a fillet of haddock each, And the most important people to you, the people that you love the most, that you know would be at that table, and we don't need to mention him,
Yeah.
they got a piece of the haddock that was the big one.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so he had a really lovely day, and it was light. It wasn't heavy on theology. And, it was about 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
You've caught a fish, you've caught a great fish, you caught a lot of the haddock, you got good at it after you've caught a few fish. And Peter and me and Bob just kept on asking you questions about what's been happening over the last 3 or 4 days. And you just went into detail. We had some very specific questions, and all you did was talk about how good everything is and how happy you are. And you're a private woman. You're private. You keep things close to your chest. And sometimes we had to poke you to get you to be honest. We had to push you to get over your self-esteem issues and get you to say things that some of your "I'm not worthy" or "why me" was was totally demolished because you had to answer a question that when you finished the answer to the question, you actually felt worthy
Wow.
and you were prophesying to yourself. And it was one of the most amazing conversations I've ever witnessed. And it was better than the 9 hour one.
Wow.
And so we had a really good time. And I want to thank you because it's a really cherished memory for Bob.
Mm.
It's a really cherished memory for Peter. It's a really cherished memory for me. And every fisherman in heaven knows how successful that fish was and how you set the record. So you just got the respect of all the fishermen in heaven,
Wow.
and they would all love you to come and fish with them.
Oh,
And so perhaps you may take up fishing as something you do once a week. Um,
maybe that would be fun, isn't it? Doing something different.
yeah, just to relax and chat.
Yeah,
Because there's
that's
time in between catching fish, and you have to fill in the time. And you can't be baiting your hook for half an hour. You've got to be filling in time, and you just chat. It's an ideal place to sit down and have chats. And
absolutely.
so I just sort of fill you in with that. So what's your question?
Loving me, was that difficult for you?
Uh, it it taught me about love. It taught me about trauma. It taught me how to handle a flower without damaging its petals. Dealing with me was being able to pick up a flower and examine it and touch it, but without bruising any of the petals. And you taught me to dance. You taught me to have finesse, sometimes hard, sometimes soft, but nearly always loving and compassionate and over. And I had to continue not to be offended and upset that you wouldn't receive my love and you wouldn't accept my love. And it hurt me a lot. Like God said to you, Tolu, I'll just have to walk away and you'll have to chase me. And you may not remember, but a couple of times I did go silent because I was so frustrated and so broken that I just went quiet and I wasn't talking. And then you ran after me and you sensed something was really wrong. And you said things, I'll do anything. Help me. What did I do? How can I help you? And from time to time over the years, I said, what you can really do for me that'll help me is let me love you and accept my love. And you probably don't remember those times. It only happened 3 times in 20 years. But you remember that long enough to let me in for a little while. And not everything you were told to do by Jesus come from Jesus. Some of the things you needed to do came out of me. But
Wow.
you were so traumatized that you don't remember me coaching you myself. You're just a delicate flower that was precious and you had to be handled with care. And, added to my depression and sadness and what I was doing for God, I had to cope with continual rejection. And all I ever knew was to love. You're just such a beautiful person. And the thing that frustrated me the most was you couldn't see who you are. You couldn't see why I loved you. You couldn't understand. And even today, you struggle with understanding why God would love you like this and why he would choose to use you like this. And I guess I just got to continue loving you, and God and me and Emmanuel just continue writing songs that show you different dimensions of yourself until you've listened to those songs so much that we've smashed those lies and crashed those lies and smashed on those lies. You start walking in boldness. Start walking in confidence, and you start walking in the righteousness of Christ and the mind of Christ. And you know, do you think do you think Christ ever doubted himself, or do you think Christ would walk around saying, "Do you know who I am?"
No, he never doubted himself.
Right. So we've got to get you to that state because you're in a fight, and we've got to build you up. And so it was an absolute honor. It was the best life that you gave me, the best life. And we've all got trauma and we've all got issues, but I loved every part of you. And still today, I love the broken Tolu and I love you how you are. You never have to change. You never have to accept my love. You never have to think you're worthy. You never have to think you're good enough. I love you just the way you are. Don't go changing to try and please me. I love you just the way you are. So don't change to please me and don't change to please God. We both love you and are invested in you just the way you are, but we want to do a miracle in your life and get you to a stage where you absolutely love yourself and you're absolute confident in yourself. You've heard a lot about Victoria, right? She's she's very powerful, she's very bold, she'll speak up. Got so much similar to you, right? But she needs a lot of encouragement. She doesn't know how beautiful she is. And it's beauty, like beautiful women aren't impressed by their own beauty. It actually messes with their heads. She needs a lot of encouragement. She's a delicate flower that needs to be handled right. But she thinks enough of herself to, if something's annoying her, upsetting her, she'll speak up. And so we've got to treat her with care. And Mary Magdalene was a broken, shattered person when she met Jesus. Jesus loved her so much, worked with her so much, opened up to her so much, was so full of not unrelenting love that she transformed. And he can do that miracle with anyone. But the beauty of Jesus, the beauty of God, the beauty of me is we love you just the way you are. So we don't need you to change. We don't need you to think you're worthy. We don't need you to really see yourself for how we see you. We don't need anything from you. We just want to be with you and walk with you and talk to you and enjoy you. And if our desires and wishes and dreams come true, in maybe a year or two, or maybe 2 months, depending on the songs and how they can work on you, it's my dream that you could get to a stage of boldness and confidence that you go from having wishes to ordering people around and discovering problems and seeing something that's broken and jumping on one of Matthew's wife or someone in authority and say, get that done, you know? And so, yeah. So did you get the message? You don't have to change. You don't need to do anything. You don't have to do anything to impress me. I love you. There's a verse in the Bible that Matthew sort of remembers a bit. Christ demonstrated his love for us in this, that whilst we were still sinners, he died for us. He loves us in our mess, in the middle of our mess. And he loved us so much that he paid the price to redeem us, to get us forgiven, and he gave us the power in his blood to transform. So he loved us from the beginning of time. He loves who you can be in the future. And to be honest, if you understand scripture, he actually loves the future Tolu. And so you don't have to change to get his love and his attention, because he loves you as the perfect one that's fantastic right now. And so if you just start to receive God's love and receive the love of Jesus and allow us to love you, that powerful love and belief and trust in you will allow to be the catalyst to transform you and do a miracle in you getting your self-esteem back.
Wow. Thank you, Ben. That was really sincere. And I love that sincerity. You know me so well.
You're not going to have the time to listen to these messages. You're going to be busy doing songs and writing books and doing these interviews that your spirit's just got to catch stuff. Some of these things I say to you will be so precious, but you haven't got the time to listen to 4-hour videos and 9-hour videos. Just have to spend time with me and let that transform you. Let my love transform you. And look at the songs and play the songs with the truth. Um, uh, um, Play the songs with the truth until the songs transform you.
Wow. When God asked you for your wife, Did you believe I could make him happy?
Yeah, because he's a broken God, and he's a suffering God, and he's a depressed God, and you did the same for me.
Wow.
You've already done it. You already made me happy. I wasn't unhappy being a husband. I was unhappy because all of God's depression was on me. You know how you say often that the people you hang around with, their good characteristics pass down on you
Yeah,
and the bad habits pass down on you.
yeah,
You told Matthew before that I told you to break off with certain friends because you're adapting their bad habits,
yeah.
right? Well, I hung around God so much that I got his depression
Wow.
and I carried it. And you just served me. Just served me in such a wonderful way that in the midst of carrying God's depression and stewarding his depression and being close to him and sitting with him in his pain, when I came around you, you just made me laugh and made me happy. And you gave me children that brought me joy. And I used to like taking you out to restaurants and taking you out places and driving and taking the kids. And I didn't mind how long the drives were because I knew that if you asked Jesus a question, he'd just bring you joy. So serving you and loving you and being with you and the kids, you are my joy. My job was to become God's friend. And
Wow.
it's painful. Matthew's never going to be free of the chronic, uh, extreme torture that he's in. And he learned a long while ago that the only thing that will keep the depression from turning into suicidal depression is
Yeah.
keep doing what God tells him to do. And you used to get happy singing worship. Now you get happy listening to your songs and doing God's work. And you're starting to feel God's heart.
Wow.
You're starting to steward his pain. You're starting to feel that you're in this place that is just going to be a long time suffering.
Yeah.
And but you made me happy, and I knew that God needed help, and so I gave him the person that used to make me happy. Said, go and increase your relationship with Tolu. So you became one, entered into oneness with God. And he was so surprised. It was in your destiny, but when it was in Abraham's destiny to offer up Isaac,
Yeah.
and it surprised God that he went through it. And when he was just about to do it, he stopped him. But it was a test.
Wow.
And the same God that descended from the Jewish race was asked to offer up his son, and he did.
Did.
And he did,
Wow.
and he did do it. And just like God, I was asked to offer up my wife. And just like Abraham, just like God, I had to make a sacrifice. But it was one that I knew would work with him.
Hmm.
And I haven't lost you. I gave you away, but I didn't lose you, has strengthened us. Matthew met Joseph on his first visit to heaven, and Joseph gave him his coat of many colors. And so Matthew's mantle was Joseph's mantle. Joseph passed his mantle on to Matthew. One day, Jesus asked Matthew to give his coat of many colors to a famous street evangelist. So famous that the Queen had asked that street evangelist to come and answer one of the questions that she had. A question about salvation and whether she was going to go to heaven. And couldn't trust any of the high official Anglicans, bishops, popes. She couldn't ask any Christian to come and answer her question. But she didn't think she'd make it to heaven being so wealthy. So she asked, did she have to give away more money to make it? And he gave her a real honest answer. But one day, Matthew developed a relationship with that evangelist, and Jesus said to him, I want you to give, I want you to, he asked, the evangelist asked Matthew, can you pray? Matthew says, I don't pray in public. I don't pray in front of people. He said, I think that's biblical. I can understand you doing that. But Jesus told me today, I was talking to Jesus today, this morning, Jesus said, when Matthew comes and meets you today, ask him to pray for you. So I'm asking because Jesus told me to ask you. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll pray. And before he prayed for him, Jesus said, when you finish praying for him and prophesying over him, giving Joseph's mantle. Matthew argued, it's mine. It's the only thing that keeps me alive. How am I going to stay in the prison house if I haven't got it? It's my strength. It gives me everything. It's my destiny. It's my mantle. I can't live without this. Jesus said, can't say that. You've got me. You're not going to lose me. He needs it more than you. Matthew struggled and he prayed the prayer and did a prophecy, tremendous prayer, tremendous prophecy. Then he says, and Jesus wants you to give you my mantle. I've got Joseph's coat of many colors on me. Joseph gave it to me. Jesus wants you to have it. And I'm going to take it off myself and I'm going to place it on the shoulders. And the guy said, why would you do that? I said, because Jesus said you need it. He said, okay. So he took it off and put it on. And he wasn't crying, but he was crying inside. It was the hardest thing he's ever had to do. When he put it on his shoulders, he saw it in the spirit on this guy. And he looked back over his own shoulders to see if he's got a normal white mantle now, like Jesus' mantle. And he had a coat of many colors himself. He didn't know what imparting was, but if you impart your mantle, you can keep your mantle and the other person can have the mantle. But that was very hard for Matthew. The hardest thing the hardest thing Jesus had ever asked him to do. And that's what I did with you. God needed help. And they told me that the help was my wife as my most precious possession, the only thing that keeps me alive. And I gave him you. And it was hard. I knew that you'd be effective, not only because what you'd done in my life, I knew you'd be effective because God asked for you. And if he asked for you, that meant that he needed you, and it meant that you were going to do the job. So I had never had any doubt that you're going to be his secret weapon, and I never had a worry of losing you and losing your love, and I didn't think I'd have a loss. It was just you were just my coat of many colors. You're my perfume. You're my most precious possession. And I didn't really understand how our dynamic would change if you started spending all this time with God. But I trusted Him. I walked so much with Him. I trusted His wisdom over mine. So I did it. And I'm so glad I did.
You're so glad you did?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you've you've brought a massive revival to heaven. And instead of no one in heaven knowing God, or no one in heaven seeing God, or no one in heaven understanding God, or wanting to understand God, everyone in heaven loves Him and wants to be His friend.
Wow.
And God's so happy, which made Jesus so happy, that Jesus got into his right mind
Yeah,
and started dreaming about tomorrow and married Mary.
yeah,
And, they're two miracles you've made, and they're good miracles. Matthew heard you when you say you don't celebrate and you just get on with mission. Well, Matthew's been on a high for days, and Satan's been attacking him in all different sorts of ways today, right? One thing, his phone started playing a song. He gave his phone to his carer, and she played a song, and then the song wouldn't turn off. It stayed on his phone. They couldn't get rid of the song. The song kept on playing. Matthew realized he couldn't turn his phone off. For some reason, he can't turn his phone off. So the song was playing. Matthew's panicking. How am I going to sleep? Even if I put the phone in the living room, I still may hear it. I may not be able to get to sleep. And in the middle of his panic, she said, "Oh, I'll solve it. Just get Daniel, who can do technical things tomorrow, to fix it. And I'll turn the volume down so you can't hear it. So that's okay." Right? That was a major thing, right? And really panicked him. But Matthew trusts us. And but Matthew knew the breakthroughs happened because he's been attacked in multiple ways. And Matthew really loves attack from Satan because it confirms his breakthrough,
hmm,
right? He doesn't, Matthew's so supernatural. He lives in such an imaginary world. His world is he's telepathic crowd, and he's like Victoria, wipe out all the enemies of telepathic crowd. He's able to do that without having evidence and just hoping that he'll get some feedback and evidence. But he does amazing things just by faith. But he doesn't really believe that a major breakthrough is a breakthrough unless he gets a serious attack from Satan. And he's been getting serious attack with his sleep, and he couldn't wake up with his wife giving him that recurring dream.
hmm,
And he hasn't been to sleep since. And we have to break the fear off that he's not going to get that going to happen again. We've
hmm.
broken that fear off, and he's happy to go to sleep, and he believes she's been dealt with. But Satan's an idiot because he attacks so much that Matthew's absolutely confident that everyone in heaven is meeting God, and they're meeting God privately. They're giving their testimonies at the audit conferences, and they're meeting God in the park with 20 of them. Everything he said, he believes is happening. He sees it happening, and he believes Jesus is married. And all these breakthroughs are being confirmed by Satan, and even he's pouring out attacks on all his telepathic audience, on their enemies, and the breakthrough that you commanded. He's confident that's happened because the attacks are just continued of Satan
Mhm.
today. So, Satan brings Matthew into his right mind and gives him faith. And Satan, I don't care if you're listening to this, you're a bloody idiot, you know? So yeah, I know that's a lot
Wow.
about Matthew,
Wow.
but what I wanted to say, what Matthew wanted to say is that I know you don't, you said to Matthew, and I'm like worried in Matthew that you don't celebrate breakthroughs, but Matthew really loves breakthroughs and it really makes him happy.
Yeah. Maybe I'll celebrate in heaven, but I don't really celebrate. You know that, Ben.
Yeah.
Why am I going to celebrate once you've gone? What it is to celebrate?
What's that? So,
I, I said, how am I going to celebrate while you are gone? What is it to celebrate?
yeah, well,
Because my life changed drastically, Matthew.
yeah,
So, of course, I would say, there's an area of my life that's been shut down.
yeah,
So I'm just living on the remnant,
yeah,
and celebration is one of them.
yeah. Well, allow Matthew to be happy and uh, go into like a new level of happiness and giving good messages and writing good songs and allow his way of helping you be happy and allow Matthew to celebrate by writing some good songs for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, darling. Wow. Oh, that reminds me. Do you like the last song I wrote for you, Ben?
It was
One day I one day I knew.
it's my my best birthday present you ever gave me.
Wow.
And Matthew says and believes it's the best song you've written.
Wow.
And he told you before, and maybe you didn't hear him, but he really believes that you had help with that song.
Wow.
And he believes you've already sat down with Michael and me helped you formulate the words for that song.
Wow.
When you woke up in the morning or whenever you wrote that song, you,
Yesterday.
your spirit wrote what we came up with.
Wow.
So
Today.
what do you think you received off Daniel or one of your team? You actually your spirit spoke what we produced.
Wow. The things of the spirit are interesting. They are deep, Ben. Very deep. How do you
Matthew's got to turn his light on.
okay. I'll close the door here as well, Matthew.
And I've got to
Just okay.
The time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does, Matthew. These days, especially in this last 5 days, it's like the time is never enough, isn't it? We sat for 9 hours yesterday, and I could still have continued if not that I just knew I need to go to bed. But my body system has really changed before, Matthew. If I don't sleep well consecutively, which I've not really done in this last few days, I'll be so tired in the day, but I'm not.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
What, glory?
You're walking in the glory.
Wow.
And when you manifest the glory, Matthew knows a famous teacher. He's forgetting her name at the moment. And she preached for 5 days.
Oh,
And
Nancy, something.
Nancy Cohen, 5 days, 5 nights, no food, no food, no water, no toilet break.
So that's glory.
Yeah.
Wow. Hmm. My God. So, Ben, how do you see me with Papa without getting jealous?
How do you think I'd ever get jealous with you kissing your father on the cheek and climbing on his lap and giving him a hug?
No,
Would that provoke me to jealousy?
no,
You're just loving your father, darling. You just committed to your father. You just took it to another level, a level that he's never had it before. You're a woman and you've become Jesus. You're his bride and you're his daughter at the same time. He's just your father. You climb up on his lap and give him a hug and tell him, rub his cheek and say, "Do you know how much I love you?" And it's just a daughter showing affection and love to her father. And if the father wants to kiss her on the lips, it's quite okay for a grandfather to do that with his daughter, or a father to do that with his daughter. So there's absolutely no jealousy. It's very pure. It makes me happy.
my God. You're so unique, Ben. But I'm glad it makes you happy because I don't understand the dynamics yet, but I just assume I'm playing my role well for him. Does he feel like he needs to catch up with you?
No,
That's beautiful.
he's got eternity and
Wow.
he's not in a hurry.
Wow.
He's been waiting and planning this for 40 years. It doesn't have to happen in a week. He's been preparing this and he's looking forward to the rest of the journey.
Wow.
It's just
Beautiful.
it's just a new relationship. You got to spend time together and work together and trust each other. And it's not that you didn't trust him, but you just got to trust him in a new level.
Yeah.
Right? If Daniel tells you to put every single witch on a hospital bed with a migraine like your mother-in-law, because because God wants to do a strike on every evil person in the world, he's got to get you to a state where you'll do it.
Mm.
You've got to be able to trust him that he knows best. And that'll only come from relationship.
Wow. It's really beautiful. How have I changed your life in heaven? My presence there, even though I'm not aware of my presence, well, How's that added more value to you? And who suggested the idea of me coming in the first place?
Go back to Taylor's song.
Yeah,
When I think of you, my brain goes upside down.
yeah.
When I'm with you, my brain goes right side up. Your brain, when you're on Earth, in daylight hours, is upside down.
Wow,
It's only when you're with me that we recalibrate it and heal things in your heart. So we're doing this for you
wow,
because you're the secret source, you're the secret weapon, you're the power. And the more time you spend with us, whether you understand it or remember it or not, the better you'll be.
wow. And that's been the case.
And what's the second question? Was
Whose
this,
idea?
whose idea was it?
Yeah,
It was someone on the alien planet's idea.
wow. And do you think it was a good idea?
For you to come to heaven every night.
Yeah.
It's what you need. It's what we need. We need you. We need to spend time with you. We need to trust you. We need to have fellowship with you and receive your love. We're doing hard things.
Mm,
We're working hard. We've got to totally change our beliefs and our theologies and our structures. We've got to do things in a new way that we don't even understand yet. There's a lot of us haven't really got confidence for the job. And meeting you and knowing you that every day you do an interview and out of the interview comes new direction, we know that we can trust you.
wow,
And so we need relationship. We need you here. It's not for you, it's for us.
wow,
Emmanuel needs your hugs. Vanessa needs your hugs. You're like a hug machine. You just hug people and they weep. Or you hug people and they laugh. You hug people and soul ties come out. You hug people and they're delivered.
I've got such a sensitive spot for Emmanuel, isn't it?
Yeah, he's your firstborn. He's going to inherit our blessings. He's the secret ingredient that makes you so special. He's very subdued. He's very hidden. He's very private. He's the keeper of secrets. He only releases them when he's told. He's not like Matthew. Matthew can't keep secrets. He's just not made to do that. And everyone listening loves him the way he is. But sometimes Emmanuel says things to you and are just absolutely amazing. But it's not as though he didn't know you that 5 weeks ago. He just releases it at the right time.
Um, wow. Wow.
And you love Vanessa so much because she's only a young girl. She hasn't had former lives. She's not an angel. She's not an alien. She's a normal girl that Satan saw potential in and was going to give her great leadership. But she had to endure the breaking of herself, like a horse needs to be broken. She was enduring being broken, and so much that she said, I'm out of here.
So beautiful, isn't it? Who would have thought that Vanessa and Emmanuel were going to marry?
Only you. You're good at remembering things, but sometimes we need to tell you something that you remember. You told Matthew because Matthew doesn't remember what's being said in these things. So sometimes you share something that one of us said, and Matthew realizes it's powerful and he doesn't forget. Do you know Matthew had a breakthrough today from a spell that he's been under? He's talking to his carer today, and he shared something that he was doing that broke your heart, caused you a lot of pain, had a spell on him. When someone introduces themselves and they prove that they love him,
Yeah.
he makes a point of remembering the person's name. He makes a point of remembering important things in that person's life. And he's never, ever, ever in his whole fucking life forgotten something important for a person like Edinburgh. And
That's,
Satan did that to him. And that was
wow.
broken off him now. He's trying to tell you, I can't fucking remember.
Wow.
You're getting so angry with him saying, you're so full of fucking excuses. You're so full of fucking lies. You're lying to me. You just couldn't give a shit where I live and you refused to remember it. And you got angry and it really made Matthew angry because he knows he hurt you. He doesn't like to hurt people. He certainly doesn't like to get accused of fucking hurting people. And it really, really almost caused something really riff. Matthew's still broken, struggling. How am I ever going to fucking remember this? I hope she doesn't ask me again. He's sharing that testimony with his carer today, and he's sharing the frustration. I wish I could just remember. Look it up. The capital of Scotland. She looked it up on her phone in the car. She says Edinburgh. And Matthew said, ask me when we pick up my medication in 20 minutes, where does Tolu live? See if I can share it with you. Because whenever I hear it, I forget it. And she asked Matthew when got to medication, where does Tolu live? And Matthew said, Edinburgh.
Wow.
It was a spell.
Wow.
A,
Wow.
a lot of Matthew's Humpty Dumpty is trauma. A lot of it is spells. And they're going to start breaking off him.
Wow. Wow. I can speak to you all day. Do I speak to you? Do we spend time, just me and you speaking for a long time?
3 days and 3 nights has been our best.
Wow. So now, am I the same wife you knew on earth, or am I a
No,
different wife?
you're an updated version. Do you know how software releases new versions and updates? Yeah, you're definitely an update. I'm not
But
used to this. I'm still trying to recalibrate myself to deal with you.
it's good news, isn't it?
Yeah. Matthew didn't get to have time to write a song today, but he may, he doesn't know how long he's going to stay up before he goes to bed, and he's definitely not tired now, but he may, if you can talk to him in 4 hours and he decides to stay up for 4 hours and talk to you, one of the time in those 4 hours, he'll write you a song.
That would be beautiful. Wow, man. Our life is like a dream. The story of our life is like a dream. And if someone has told me that dream, I wouldn't believe it. You knew where we came from. We did come from a very small town in Nigeria. How did we get here?
You're you're a young son,
Yeah,
you're the favorite son of Jacob,
yeah.
and you got sold into slavery, and you went into a dark place, or we went into a dark place, and I came out of, well, whatever you're here, I'm gonna have sadness in me.
Mm.
And so we carry this burden together. But soon, Matthew's hoping in the next few days, soon you're going to start acting like a queen. And rather than doing 100 videos and teaching people, you're just going to take shortcuts and decree things and kill people and do things, right?
Well, that's Matthew. That's not me. You know,
Well,
Matthew.
whatever soon you're gonna come up with ideas and transform heaven in just one thing, like this magical idea of everyone getting single, everyone getting married at once, and
Yeah.
found out that still people aren't married, so fix that up and fixed it up.
Mm, mm. Yeah.
Things that would take years if you're doing it the normal way, but with one command and one miracle,
Speed it up.
yeah, and make everyone happy.
Wow. That's the goal, isn't it? Everyone needs to be happy in heaven.
Yeah,
They need to have that blissful effect that heaven's supposed to have on their life.
yeah.
Wow. Man, I've got so much question for you. You can't believe it. I'm just trying to choose trying to think which one should I choose. Since you've been in heaven, has Papa ever let you down?
Yeah, I used to let you down when I couldn't get out of my depression
Yeah,
and I couldn't get happy.
yeah.
And you tried and you tried, and I wouldn't smile, I wouldn't get happy. And God has let me down because I've told him what he needs to do, or I've advised him or tried to make him happy, and he didn't do it. Just so shut
Wow,
down, feeling so hopeless, feeling such a failure.
wow,
He couldn't even rise and do something that would make him feel good.
wow,
You think you got low self-esteem? How would you like to be the one responsible for allowing the earth and heaven to be ruined?
wow, wow, wow,
It may be easy to say, may be easy for people to hear, but it's not easy being the all-powerful creator, who's a genius, letting his creation down, allowing himself to be deceived and come under a spell, and his ruthless rigidity of religious belief, allowing him to stay in that and refusing to back down and instituting things that just destroyed heaven.
Wow.
Until he said, I've had enough. And people with the answer was then given permission to come and start fixing things. Well, he lives with that. He's got a mind. He keeps on reminding himself of what a loser he is.
Wow.
So he lets me down because you look at Matthew and you look at him and you said, there's so many things this guy could do
Yeah.
if he just wouldn't say the excuses.
Yeah.
You know, God's exactly the same. He's full of excuses.
Wow. I guess I need to wake him up.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell him the things he can do. Tell him the things you can see him doing.
Yeah. I need to speak more to him then, based on what you said now, even while I'm on earth.
Yeah. Well, the things you say to him on earth, you'll remember.
Yeah, I remember.
And if he forgets it, you can repeat it.
Yeah, I'll speak to him. I'll speak. So is it one of the reasons why it was important for me to stop referring him as Papa to build him up?
To show him that you're affectionate towards him and you're his partner, not his daughter, not his servant.
On earth, to show that on earth. I'm already showing that in heaven, to show that in my current reality.
In both realities.
Wow.
Because your wife in name, your wife in what you've accepted.
But I need to be wife in practice.
You need to be wife in practice.
Wow.
His creation in heaven and earth are suffering. You need to pick up your authority and fix it.
Wow. Man, it's just like a bunch of responsibility just dump on me. Like, Tolu, you need to wake up now. Just like I always tell Papa, wake up. So I need to wake up as well. Well,
Yeah.
keep speaking into my spirit, man.
Yeah.
Keep signing into my
Well,
spirit.
we can have as many of these live sessions and record them so you can play them back to yourself.
Yeah, because until my dad was speaking today, it's like you guys are trying to wake me up to, yes, it is true that you're God's wife and you need to take your place. I need to be reminded.
Yeah.
Because it's still foreign to me.
This breaker anointing, this speak and have people have breakthrough.
Yeah.
What do you think it is for every single person in heaven to have a partner now? Do you think that's something powerful, your ability to do that?
Yeah, but I just, now that I know what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm just going to open up my spirit because, Ben, I've done a lot of matchmaking anyway before I even knew whether I had the authority or not. I just started doing it. And I know that it's making people happy. We're hearing the testimony. But if I feel led, which I am usually well led, if I feel led that I need to do that, I will do that.
Yeah.
I just needed to be woken up in a way because I don't know what it is to be God's wife. It's like I need to learn because it's different. Ben is different from being your wife because I was already used to you. Yes, I needed to change. Like you
Let,
saying,
let, let me say it another way.
yeah,
Maybe this will help. You,
yeah.
you're not God's wife. You're the mother of all creation. You need to start being a mother.
Sarah, man, do people call me Tolu or Sarah in heaven, Ben? Am I called Tolu?
You're
Because
called to Lou at
Jesus,
the moment, but you can change your name to Sarah.
that name was so special to me. I used to like that it was only Jesus that called me that name.
Now,
It was like,
you can tell the people of heaven to address you as Sarah.
wow.
And
Okay. I'll,
you can even put on your music, Sarah Johnson.
oh no, I'm not gonna change it on earth. I love Tolu. So yes, they can call me Sarah in heaven.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Ben, I just wish I can continue to speak with you.
Well, you check your diaries and have a break, and when you can talk for longer, we'll talk for longer.
Okay. Thank you, darling.
But
I see how
my reward if Matthew spends time like 5 hours to wait until we talk again.
yeah.
My reward for waiting and speaking to you for another hour or two, my reward is you write God or me a song.
Okay.
And you write God or me a song, it doesn't have to be uploaded. But before I speak to you again, you need to do your homework and write another one. And we both need encouraging. So choose which one you want to encourage.
Okay. Okay. And I think that's why, because initially the music for me was to be just be encouraging you too, most especially. So I need to go back into that as much as possible. I can't forget that. Wow. So you like listening to my songs that I write for you?
Yeah, I like listening to all your songs, but it's going to take a pretty special song to knock that last one off. I want a
Did
whole
you?
I want a whole playlist of songs I love.
Oh, did you cry? Did I make you cry?
I haven't listened to it once where I didn't cry.
Oh,
I still have a lot of trauma and pain and memories.
they're not gonna go away. It will take a while,
Yeah,
especially because you still have your wife here. Thank you, darling. I hope to speak to you before the rest of the day. I will check my calendar and I'll speak to Matthew. So happy birthday again. If you do celebrate birthday on earth, happy birthday. And I love you so much. And I can never stop loving you. No amount of spell can make me stop loving you.
yeah.
So thank you, darling. It was beautiful speaking to you today.
Yeah, do you got to go now or you got 13, 12 minutes.
I have to go like, let's say 10 minutes
Yeah.
or 12 minutes. I'll just open my laptop because sometimes I need it to boot up. Well, I'll be opening it by the side here. And I'll quickly speak to my darling Papa. How,
Right, yeah.
how, thank you, darling. Papa, you are my darling treasure. Do you know that?
Thank you.
I treasure you so much. And I hope I show you that in heaven.
You do.
I need to take my position more now.
Yeah. Instead of prayers and speaking and teaching and writing songs,
Yeah,
you can just do one thing and do everything that you want.
one
Right.
thing.
Like one thing, like just like you woke up
Yeah,
to your realities,
yeah.
Matthew assumes that you could just command everyone in heaven to wake up.
I love the way Matthew thinks, isn't it? There's no border. So maybe when we finish this conversation, one of my breaks, I will allow Matthew to download everything he's thinking. And I will see the one I need and the one I can be in. Or I would love to know what is going on in his mind. There's so many things going on in his mind.
Well,
He just wants to fix heaven today. And not just heaven, he wants to fix earth today.
yeah, well,
That
just these people. He doesn't care so much for everyone that's not listening and tuning in every day in the telepathic. He doesn't really care for everyone else out of his church. He's running a church. He's the pastor of a church, but they don't have to give their lives to Jesus. They don't have to leave witchcraft. They don't have to do anything. They just got to listen and do what they feel led. And they don't have to give him offering. They don't have to pay him back. They've just got to accept the gifts and accept the love. And and in time he'll say he'll get permission of Cynthia that they can donate and give. And in time he said if what we've done for you is worth something to you and you want to bless us back and thank us, just send it to this PayPal address, PayPal.
yeah, that's the thing, Matthew. You're limiting your questions by your responses. Just like I said earlier on, because God knows how to bring the solution.
Yeah.
You just decree and leave the know-how. Leave it to God.
Yeah.
Leave it to heaven to work that out.
Matthews thinks a lot.
Yeah, it takes a lot, but a lot of things that he thinks,
Yeah, but you can do shortcuts like
yeah,
put ev-
shortcut.
put everyone in heaven at the wedding next to their partners. That
That
that was a Matthew idea that achieved a
ex-
lot in one thing.
exactly. Having multiple wives was Matthew's idea as well. So now it needs me to be able to refine him so that he just does not run away with all these silly ideas that he gets sometimes, Papa.
We trust we trust you to sort them out.
Yeah, it needs to be sorted out. We need to
Do, do, do,
CV Johnson.
do you think if you decree everyone to wake up and command the people of heaven and earth to wake up and come and have their minds assimilated into the new wine message and leave it up to the aliens and the Holy Spirit to bring all the messages to help them wake up, but to command the order of the universe to wake them up. Just like Sadhu Sundar Singh said to me, wake up.
Yeah.
And Matthew said a song to you, wake up. And why don't we just do a shortcut and laboring with song after song and teaching after teaching and just command heaven and earth who's listening to this, wake up.
Still Matthew's idea. But thank you, Matthew. We think so differently, Matthew.
Yeah, well,
and we wake up differently.
like Jesus said, the directions are going to come from you.
Yeah, but you could give me all your tips and all your ideas and suggestions. I will capture it, and then I will tell you the ones I've been, and I will tell you the one I'm going to refine. And don't forget, it took us a while to get to where we are now, and we need. It's not just. I understand what you're trying to do. You want a shortcut? I used to be a fan of shortcut. Have you forgotten? I'm still a fan of shortcut. I'm always looking for shortcut to do things. But there are some things that does not require shortcut. There's some things that requires time. But now what my dad said yesterday that woke me up is I just need to renew my mind and start thinking in the direction of, yes, you are now there to support God. So you need to start thinking differently. You're a different person now. So allow that process in me to work. Then you start seeing a different Tolu.
Yeah.
And those lyrics bring lyrics to me. It will wake me up than all your advices.
Yeah.
But thank you, my darling friend, again. Your intentions are always pure. You just run with it like a little child. That's just the difference. But your intentions are always pure. And I'm more of a thinker. I ruminate on things before I say it. So as you're speaking, I'm already saying, no, Matthew, you're going too fast. Slow down.
Yeah. Well, before we meet again, we're going to go in 4 minutes, but before when you ring me in 20 minutes or half an hour and tell me how long I've got to wait,
Yeah.
in that waiting time, I'll write a song for you.
Yeah.
And before we actually meet to talk to Ben again, you write the lyrics of a song for Ben or God.
Yeah. What do you think, darling? Do you know who I'm speaking to now?
Ben.
No. I know you would think it's Ben. So who am I speaking with?
God.
Yeah.
I say we can do with all the music that can be created, but it's up to you. If you don't feel inspired to write a song before we meet, well, you don't have to do Matthew's suggestion.
Thank you, darling. You're always making things easy for me. So I need to differentiate between you and Ben, and I'm going to use different love name for you too, so I can so that Matthew can know who I'm speaking to. Because I've always called Ben darling, so I knew you were going to go straight to Ben. But it's Papa I'm referring now. So I'm trying to reframe my mind, Matthew. So just give me time to just get my mind working well.
Yeah.
In this. Wow. I love you, my darling treasure. And that's Papa. He is my darling treasure. And Ben, you are now my sweetheart. So can you differentiate the difference
Yeah,
now, Matthew?
hopefully.
Hopefully, I'll remind you and if I use another name anytime that I mean another, I will let you
Well,
know.
whilst you take your break, have fun in Edinburgh.
So I am practicing my calling Papa now, darling. You are practicing remembering Edinburgh all the time. Well done. Well, but before I go, I've got 2 minutes. What about my precious son, Emmanuel?
Hello,
How are you?
hello, Mum.
I'm good.
You gotta. Can I speak to this for a sec? You gotta excuse Matthew. He was prophesied that he was going to be an evangelist. It
Wow.
was shown he was going to be evangelist at 14 years of age. Well, he's pretty tired now, but that's like 45 years ago.
Yeah.
And he still isn't an evangelist. And he wants to be that evangelist. And he wants to get it on. He's sick of waiting. So excuse him if he wants to decree shortcuts and get it going fast.
So, Emmanuel, are you saying you're agreeing with Matthew's shortcut approach?
No, he's just recalibrating himself.
Calibrating himself.
He knows
Uh,
he's got the power to make it happen. He's just having a hard time working out what you need to do.
yeah. So he just needs to give him when I'm in this state, I give myself some time to meditate, to think, to ruminate on things, and to then I'll start receiving messages of what I need to do. So I just need to do that. But Matthew doesn't allow himself to think on things. He just says whatever comes to his mind without processing it. So just like saying I'm taking the people of the telepathic all together, which evangelist have ever taken all of his congregation when he dies? Have you seen one, Emmanuel, that goes with his or her congregation because they can't be left alone? I heard that from Matthew. So Matthew always think he needs to have the solution, but you don't need to have the solution. You just need to do your part.
Yeah. Well, if you endure with Matthew long enough, you'll learn.
Oh yes, oh yes. It's learned a lot in this past. How many years now? Going to 3 years we met, so I know it will learn. It might be a slow motion. We might be going at a very slow speed, but he is going to change.
Yeah.
I I love you, Emmanuel, and I love you, Vanessa.
Maybe you could get Matthew's favorite song not to be Ben's song. Maybe Matthew's favorite song will be the song you write about him.
Oh my God, Emmanuel, why are you advocating for him, Matthew?
Whatever you get inspired to write, that'll encourage Matthew to do his job right.
Do you like the song I wrote for Daddy?
Yeah, I agree with Matthew. It's the most emotional song that you've produced.
Thank you, darling.
Connected really deeply with me.
Yeah, because me and your dad we are connected deeply. It's a long way. We've been together for 24 years now, so it's a long time. I love you, Manuel, and I love you, Vanessa. And my dad, I love you as well. Thank you for always giving me the right advice at the right time. So you guys just need to continue to wake me up as well, just as I am waking you guys up. So,
You finished?
yeah.
Radio. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening.